Welcome to the Wilhelm channel. My name is Wilhelm Murg, and I'm here to talk about some strange pieces out of my collection. Before we start, I'm a creator myself. This is a novel I wrote, cyberpunk, very violent, very twisted, very strange, way too much William Burroughs, way too much LSD when I was writing it hard. It's available through Amazon in Kindle or paperback, and you can also order it directly from me. I believe the deal is $12. We'll get it to you in the 48 states, and all that should be in the description. But that's not what we're talking about. In 1975, I discovered underground comics. I went into Starship, which was a local head shop connected to Honest John's, a local record store. They've since merged, and Starship is one thing. It's still going. It's the leading head shop and record store here in Tulsa. Anyway, that said, I discovered underground comics there. I'd read about them. I'd seen ads for them. I'd seen Freak Brothers, and I knew there was something called Zap. And I found Freak Brothers #3 and bought that in the summer of '75. First time I went to Starship. Soon I bought Mr. Natural #2 and started buying all the Zaps and all the Freak Brothers, and it just turned into something. I found this around the same time. This is produced by Zondervan Books, which is and still is a religious, a Christian book company. And I found this in the Baptist Bookstore in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which used to be off of 41st Street, uh, in a little shopping strip next to South Roads Mall. It's trying to be an underground comic and failing miserably. Uh, Underground comic and badly drawn comic seems to be one and the same here. So my mother, whenever she knew someone who went to church and she needed, a Bible for them, they were Christians, she would usually get them a damn Bible, whether they wanted it or not. So we ended up there quite often, and I found things like, that's where I discovered Jack Chick tracks. I started buying those up. I had quite a collection at one time. I didn't realize you could get them for free if you found the right place. I found uh, we had a local weatherman when I was growing up, Don Woods, who had a character Gusty. I remember he did a kind of Jack Chick track. I mean, it wasn't anywhere near Hellfire and Brimstone, but I found this, and basically, the Baptist Bookstore, they had a little walk-up area enclosed, and they had door beads, or as my friend Roy says, those Greg Brady things. And inside there were like black lights and flashing lights and all the stuff that had kind of psychedelic lettering that was about Jesus. And there was this comic, and I looked at it, and I wasn't sure that it was supposed to be there. The copyright, I believe, is 72. Somewhere in here, I think I saw that. Yes, 72. Zondervan Publishing House. And this is by one Larry Hatfield, P.O. Box 4309, Berkeley, California. 50 cents. That was standard at this time. Comic books were in the 20 to 20, we're going up in the 20-25 cent range, regular DC and Marvel, Gold Key, and that stuff. And undergrounds were in the 35, 50, 75 cent range. So 50 cent would have been about right here. Let's plug the great Howard Fogle's Underground Price Guide. Get Howard's name in there. It is listed in Fogle's Underground Price Guide and Price and Grading Guide. This is the latest edition. Here it is. Theological Cosmics. Zondervan Publishing House, 1972, 50 cent, 28 pages, Christian, Hatfield, Slade, Capon. $30, 120 to $30 to $120, depending on, how good your copy is. That said, I don't know. This looks like a good $30 copy. Someone wrote some stuff here. I don't know what that is, but it looks like Y plus H. Anyway, so they had this little head shop area in this Baptist bookstore, and we're in Tulsa. I mean, very Baptist. And this character reminds me of someone. I can't think of what the character's name was, but there was like like he was on cards and stationery, and he was just a round circle with eyes and maybe feet. And it looks like that, which is a very sloppy way of thinking about how you draw a comic. I mean, I could do this when I was in the sixth grade. You open it up, and they don't even have anything here. They could have had you know, uh, say hello to Jesus or something. I don't know. Something could have been there. Once again, that's a panel. That's not a splash page. An honest man and his friends leave the burden of so many illusions behind, trucking. And this is obviously, an attempt at doing a Robert Crumb thing. By comparison, I have the actual Zap comics, but they're in the back room, which is the grow room, and it's shut down right now because the pot plants are flowering and blah 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 blah. So it's just easier to pull from the complete Crumb. But yeah, by comparison, yeah, there's not much to say about these cartoons. And this has kind of caught people's imagination, partially because of just the beauty of the cartoon work of Robert Crumb, at this stage when he was, in his 20s. This, yeah, this is kind of doodling. Uh, really, I don't know. It kind of looks like, it is subpar of even like, cartoons and stuff. You had real people drawing in that. That man, obviously, these guys aren't going to sue Klasky Chupo for the series from the 90s, the Jason Alexander did the voice of. Once again, just poorly drawn characters. They don't make any sense if you actually stop and read them. That's why I'm not really stopping to read them even. And the main thing to them is they're not even particularly Christian, or at least, yeah, I see, God is mentioned in it. Not here. Not here. This is the dumb joke. They crash, put someone in the ambulance, find out they don't have insurance, they kick them out. Neighbor, Nabor. I guess they're going with Robert Crumb's stoned again, Agin spelling. This is a particularly ugly page. Wow. I mean, this took someone an hour to do. Maybe. Maybe. That's only because of the precision of the lettering. More stuff. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Evolution. You start, you kind of come together. You have a fish. Fish turns into an ape. You have a pole here as kind of an Aragonus marginal. I guess that's interesting. Ape takes off its suit. Wind up toy dies, I guess. Ghost comes out. Vacuum slurps it up, a la Yellow Submarine. It's all in the mind. That's all, folks. I read this. That doesn't make any damn sense. Yeah, that took a little time. I think of my ex Maria Penn, most famous for doing the cover of Susie and the Banshees Hyena album, and she would look at something and she'd be, yeah, that's a lot of work. That's not very much work, and she kind of judged a lot of drawing on how much work somebody actually put into it, which I mean, obviously, Picasso did some things where it's only 14 lines and it's brilliant, but he's Picasso. This one, yeah, I like this drawing, but that's a nice little sketch. There's just nothing here. You do have this is a quote. I looked this up. I think this is from, I forget where this is from, but yeah, it's a Bible quote. I'm not sure which translation this is. Yeah, lids, me, I don't have any. I guess this is Jesus. No, man, I'm liquidating my stash. I used to dig it. I was cosmic, free from the gas of this world. I was so high, I flew over Kathmandu and saw the stuff growing in the earth. And that's the end of it. Dilemma, more nonsense. So here, I'm thinking this, we're trying to be Rick Griffin. I brought a Rick Griffin book once again. This is from a Zap, but Um, it's just easier to show it to you out of a book. And here's Griffin from Zap. This is nice as kind of a one shot, but Griffin's doing this stuff all day. And what else is here? Yeah, Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created something out of nothing. And you got a star David as a beacon of light, a dove. And then this, I take it we're going from Moscoso. Victor Moscoso. I'm never quite sure how to say his name. And I've actually interviewed the man. Wonderful, sweet, dear person. And I thought I marked it. Yeah. I don't have color. This is from his comic book Color. That's one that got away from me. But, once again, though, when you see the way Moscoso does, the line work and the shadow and how flat this is, the pointillism or whatever you call this. That's, this is beautiful. This is, So, strange little book. I don't know anything else about it. I cannot find anything else about it. If anyone knows anything else about it, I would certainly like to know. Like I said, Fogle doesn't even put that much about it in his book. When it pops up, it just kind of pops up without any historical reference. I've looked up the artist, this Larry Hatfield, and yeah, I can't find anything about any cartoonist or artist or and this only had one pressing. You got these weird whatever the hell this is. That's Hitler, I take. God is on our side. God helps those who help themselves. Benjamin Franklin. Anyway, bizarre. I'm very happy to have it in the collection. It's one of those things that never made much sense, but that was part of the appeal of it as a comic. It was just so strange, and it was just so obviously attempting to be underground. I'm reminded of this book, Classic Album Covers by Storm Thorgan, compiled by Storm Thorgenson. Thorgenson, in case you don't know, is the artist that conceived and executed a lot of Pink Floyd's album covers, like Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, um, Animals, Metal, etc. And this is a Paul Revere and the Raiders compilation put out by Pickwick, meaning a company that was kind of a secondary market for them. And I think these records came out and they were missing one or two tracks from the original records. But Thorgenson kind of pointed to this as corporate psychedelia. That this is like psychedelic art, but it's very corporate and there's something very square about it. It's trying to be Peter Max, it's trying to be, Yellow Submarine, but it's just kind of failing and becoming kind of your mother's printed top pattern rather than actual art, or it's starting to look more like something out of a cameo or Tricam book that was liquid embroidery women did rather than, a head shop. And I think, it's not much of a stretch to say that's what's going on here with um, Theological Comics. It looks like an underground comic as conceived by, some out of touch Christian publisher. And it has that kind of feeling of, I remember in the commentary to the Casino Royale, the 1960s satirical version, not the later uh, serious version, but uh, the producer was saying that they would just have a bunch of different people shoot different parts of it, and it all come together because it was psychedelic. And then when they got to the cutting room and found out it didn't cut together, he freaked out because obviously it wasn't psychedelic. Psychedelic actually takes a lot to pull off. Jimi Hendrix wasn't just getting loaded and making a bunch of records. They were working and working and working on those things. They may have been loaded, but they were putting in 40-hour work weeks at the very minimum on that stuff. So it's the same with comics. If you're going to do something psychedelic, if you want to do something like Rick Griffin does, man, that's a lot of work. You got to really be dedicated. You got to be a real artist. and this is just, crap. So anyway, that's what we're talking about. If anyone knows anything about it, please let me know. I've always been kind of fascinated, once again, just to keep prompting, pushing myself, to keep pushing myself. Here is Hard, my novel, available. You can find out about it in the links below this if you're watching on YouTube. Uh, like this thing, love it, worship, live by it. I'm Wilhelm Murg. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.